Okay, I'm going to talk about lurking today because I haven't talked about lurking for a while. I haven't talked about anything for a while, but I was like, I want to get back into it. It's what's something I feel good at. What's something I feel confident talking about. Something that I feel like I am decent within the game. I have an okay understanding. And I was like, you know what? Lurking. What's something that a lot of players don't have a decent understanding of? Freaking lurking, dude. So we're going to talk about lurking. We're going to talk about what it is. We're going to talk about who's good at it. We're going to talk about what to do and what not to do. And some common misconceptions, I guess, with lurking, because there's a lot of things that people don't understand when they are lurking. The position I'm going to on this map on Split is a position that a lot of people are probably familiar with. If you watched my video, it was on a play that Dapper was making on Split. Sentinels was a team that was very good on Split, and a lot of it has to do with just their ability to lurk and take different area and create presence. And that's going to be what lurking is all about. It's going to be about creating presence. A lot of players think that a lurking is just about existing on the other half of the map and getting like a good flank it and getting kills. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see players who are lurking who they're not actually doing anything. And that's the problem that you'll run into. A lot of the times when these players are just chilling over here, they'll be doing nothing. But really the purpose of a lurk is to create presence. So how do you create presence as a solo player, right? You don't want to peek like aggressive angles like this. You don't want to just like swing out here and peek an op angle and then just get it off. Because right when you die, you lose a lot of presence. So generally when you're lurking, you want to utilize your utility to create presence, right? So Omen's very good at this because his utility is usable from anywhere on the map. So Omen's a very good lurk character for that reasoning. Because, right, if I'm playing over here on A, I got two smokes. Maybe I use one, like, right here. And then maybe I can use one to help my team out in mid where I can, like, smoke fence or something. Now this smoke right here, it's denying them information. And I'm able to, like, unless they have a player who's playing on ramp right here, they're not going to know if I've pushed up or where I'm at, right? So once you've created this presence, you're taking territory, right? You're making the enemy team less comfortable. This one smoke right here is going to make the enemies, if I'm playing over here, if I'm playing down here, I don't know if they crossed or not, right? I don't know if they crossed. Even if I'm playing up here, unless I'm playing aggressively up on ramp, I don't actually know if I'm about to get peeked from right here or if I'm getting peeked right here. This is likely to keep one or two players here, right? Just that one smoke right there is likely to create presence and make it a lot easier for your allied players to take other territory in the map, right? Now, if they want to execute an B play, it's going to be a lot easier for them because you've already created the presence on A. It's probably going to keep a player or two there. That's going to be a lot easier for them to execute. This is where a lurk is really effective. Now, the problem that you'll run into, and this is what I was talking about previously, is a lot of lurks actually won't do anything. They'll be playing here and they'll be waiting for rotates to happen. Now, although this is something that you can do, and I have had decent effect to doing this as well, it's not actually the most helpful thing to your team personally. If you're going to be doing something like this, except that you kind of need to carry this round. You're going to have to get a double kill, maybe a triple kill. You might be arriving to the bomb site late. Maybe the retake has already happened and you're coming in for a flank like that. You know, but a lot of players will just kind of chill over here, waiting for the rotates to come in, so they can sneak up behind these guys and they can hopefully get a couple of kills. This is one of the worst types of lurking. I don't love when my players in my solo queue games do this, because like I said, this is mostly considered baiting. It's not doing anything for your team. You're kind of just chilling, and this is what I would really like to steer players away from doing. Use your utility to create presence. You want everybody to have their attention on you when you're lurking generally. That's going to be the most effective lurk that you can do. So this is another example of lurking that I think works very effective. It's not necessarily a lurk in itself, but you can definitely transfer this into a lurker. Like you can like turn this play into a lurk. Something that you'll see in a lot of professional tournaments is Cyphers will like cage this spot right here. Now you can do this as Cypher. I also do this whenever I have a Jet on my team, which is probably a lot more common than Cypher, honestly. Most people don't play Cypher. Everybody plays Jet. If you smoke off this entrance, if you've ever wondered what this is supposed to do, what this does is if somebody's playing here long, it makes it so anybody could have crossed this position. So it's fairly common to have one player solo A. Every now and then you'll see players stack up and they'll play one short, one long. But when you cage this entrance, I'm not going to know if anybody crosses here or not. I might try to pre-fire and just hope that I hit somebody. But for the most part, when I cage this, my options now are I can push up here and I can like push up into short. Now they don't know if I'm in short. So if that long player, he kind of has to back up from this position, right? He can't hold A long if he's the solo player, because now I can push up short. I might be able to get behind him here. This is why a lot of the times you'll see Cyphers will play this location with tripwires, just because it becomes very difficult to defend after people have thrown this cage right here. If you ever wonder what this is for, that's exactly what it's for. It's to deny that information, and that's really what lurking's all about. It's denying information. It's keeping the enemies on their toes. You know, it's creating presence. That's what this is doing. It's creating presence. I've used this word a lot. I want to kind of like build that into your brain. You don't need to capitalize on this play. You don't need to push up short, but it's the potential that you could, right? What you could do after you created this presence is I could just go regroup with my team on C long. I could just back up and I could go chill with my homies, and then we could go do something entirely different. But just the fact that there's that pressure that is there might keep a player over on A for just a little bit longer than they want to be. Might be able to help you guys get to take C site. It might make them more uncomfortable if you're going for a B play, as in like there could be a player pushing up from A, pushing up behind us. There's a lot of different there's a lot of different things that you could do off of just this one little cage right here. And this is what I really want to like. If there's one thing I could like share with you guys, is there one thing that I can like encourage you to do? It's just you use your utility for like stuff like this. Using your utility just to create a little bit of pressure. A lot of the times in lower rated games, what you'll see, instead of throwing a cage like this, instead of creating presence, a lot of players will just sit back and they'll wait, right? They'll just wait for them to get pushed. And like now you just have 5 players chilling in spawn. You're not getting pushed or anything because you're not creating any presence, so there's no the defense isn't going to capitalize on anything, right? When you're a defensive player, think what do we react on? What sort of information do we react on? Well, if I'm sitting here and I don't see anything on A long, and I see a lot of utility coming in on C, I might start to think, okay, maybe I should rotate towards C, and then I'll rotate towards C. And this is what you see in a lot of lower rated lobbies. There's no presence anywhere else. There's a ton of presence on C site. It's a full rotate. It's a 5v5, and now the offense is really struggling. I would argue this is why a lot of offenses struggle at lower ranks. It's a lot of communication as well, but it's also because they don't create presence. There's no reason for these A players to stay on A because they've only ever done a full site execute. This is where a lurk player could come really in handy. It's kind of making it less certain that it's going to be a site push. You ever watch those professional tournaments where like it's very clearly a C execute, but they're staying on A for some reason? Like there's a defender on A, there's a defender on B, but there's 5 players pushing C, and you're thinking, why aren't they rotating? That's why they're not rotating. It's because a lot of times in these professional games, it's a lot less just cut and dry. It's not normally just a C execute. There's normally something else going on the map, and that's what you really have to look out for. So if you're playing Lurk, if you want to be effective, if you want to be able to create presence and help your team out a little bit more, don't try to just be that silent dude who just sits there and not being spotted. That can be effective, right? You can get a couple kills doing it, but a lot of the times you're just baiting your team, and it's like there's definitely a big difference between lurking and baiting. This is kind of a basic guide. This isn't anything crazy at this point, but just to kind of address it, just to kind of recap, your goal as a lurk is to create presence. It's not to just chill. It's not to be unseen. It's not to get a flank. It's to create presence. That's generally what you're looking for as a lurk player. When you're lurking, you should be communicating too. This isn't a solo role. A lot of people consider this like a solo role. It's not something that I'm sitting here doing nothing the entire game and I'm just focusing on my own thing. You should be relaying information. You should be gathering information. You should be picking up on things like, hey, they're rotating quickly. We could take advantage of this. Oh, hey, Jet generally lurks, or she stays on A. She's been staying on A, so we might be able to take advantage of that. Hey, they played this round. They did this sort of default. They shot this arrow. Hey, they used this smoke. They have a one-way in this position. Hey, they're doubling up in showers. This should be information that you're gathering while you're lurking, and you should be relaying it to your team so you can take advantage of this. I think lurks can make decent shot callers, honestly, because of this. When you're gathering this information on a location that your team is not within, you can figure out weak points. This is something that I think that I'm very good at within my games, is I'm very good at gathering where a team has a weak point and where we can take advantage of it. Now, getting your team to listen to that weak point and understand and like communicating that can be a lot more difficult, but for the most part, if you're gathering this information, you're relaying it, this is what you want to do as a lurk player. You shouldn't be like just that silent role that's not talking to anybody and not communicating at all. The best lurks are the ones who communicate a lot and they're getting a lot of information. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for information and you're looking for presence. If you are watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for being here. If you did like this, if this was helpful to you, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I love your faces. I don't think I have anything more to say on lurking. I could go over every single individual character, but I don't think it's worth it, right? You can lurk as Killjoy, obviously. I've lurked a little bit as her effectively. You can lurk as pretty much any character.